Tuesday surprise is coming. Archangel Michael says, the air is charged and the hinges of time are turning. The hallway hush grows heavy like velvet drawn across a stage before the first light breaks. Your name glows on an unseen ledger, and Tuesday is already walking toward you. The night before is never still, yet tonight moves with a careful kind of silence. Every sound seems arranged, every breath feels measured and precise. You feel watched by goodness that keeps its distance like a guardian who respects your courage. A doorway in your life is unlocking by degrees you cannot hear. The wheel of chance slides into place with a click that lands inside your chest. You stand barefoot on the edge of a beginning that pretends to be ordinary. Somewhere a letter is sealed with a mark that knows your story. The signature was written by a hand that remembers every step you took through storm and fire. The envelope waits for Tuesday morning, when it will choose your palm above all others. Type Amen 333 to get blessing. On the street before sunrise, even the lamplight looks ready to transform. A soft wind gathers the last of yesterday's ash and carries it away without fuss. Your spine straightens and your heart steadies because the unseen calendar has circled your day. The surprise does not crash, it arrives with a steady footfall. It respects the shape of your courage and the boundaries of your hope. It holds out a gift wrapped in patience, tied with a ribbon of resolve. You have walked long paths where voices doubted your rhythm. You have carried names that did not deserve to follow you this far. Today the echo of those names disappears behind a closing door you do not need to open again. A message travels ahead of dawn like a quiet messenger. It wears the face of relief and the scent of doors opening wider than expected. It steps into your room without noise and finds you awake to greet it. Write to comment when your breathing slows and the room feels larger. Your calm invites what belongs to you and refuses what was never yours. This is how you rise without announcing that you are rising. The hands that once trembled now learn a new stillness. It is not the stillness of fear but the stillness of readiness. Your feet study the floor, then remember the choreography of forward. Morning will place a bright coin in your pocket. The coin is not money alone, but the symbol of exchange between effort and grace. You feel its warm weight as proof that your season shifts. The surprise is not a stranger to you. It is the future you sketched in the margins when no one looked. Now it steps out of the margins and speaks in sentences even your doubts can understand. Traces of the old ache linger only to confirm the distance traveled. They do not own a key to your new address. They cannot follow where your courage leads. A phone will ring or a knock will sound like a promise fulfilled. The right name will appear, the right words will flow, the right terms will settle into place. You will feel the floor tilt gently toward your favor. Write to comment if warmth gathers in your chest like a lantern being lit. That light is the sign that the corridor ahead has already been cleared. Walk with a pace that feels natural to the truth. This day carries a quiet banner that reads completed. It waves it not to boast but to certify the long work you endured. The stamp is official because your endurance was official. The letter that moves toward you was delayed for reasons that protected you. Timing learned your language and now speaks it flawlessly. The seal breaks at the precise hour that preserves your peace. Your hands are ready for good weight. The pen, the key, the card, the document, the invitation, the itinerary, the green signal, all of them feel right in your grip. They hold no hidden thorn, no nettle disguised as reward. Archangel Michael says, the path straightens under your next step like thread drawn tight by a careful hand. The world rearranges a few pieces to make room for your arrival. The shift is subtle yet final, and you feel it settle like a staircase aligning. You will notice your breath deepen without instruction. The room seems brighter even when the lights do not change. This is how the inside of a life becomes correctly measured. Your name travels ahead of you with soft authority. Doors recognize it and unlatch. Old closed rooms unlatch inside your chest as well. Write to comment when your shoulders drop and relief begins to unfold. That release is not weakness, it is clearance. Your heart passes through with all badges approved. The surprise respects your history while refusing to repeat it. It is kind to what you survived and loyal to where you are going. Nothing in it contradicts your healing. A message in plain language will declare what the waiting kept quiet. The declaration will not shout because truth does not need noise. You will nod because your spirit already heard it 3 days ago. Your timeline chooses a new center today. Gravity moves, gently but permanently. You become the orbit instead of merely the traveler. There is a person who once stood in the doorway of your courage with unsure hands. Today they take a step aside so light can pass. They will watch you walk by and feel the wind of your new speed. Write to comment if your ceiling feels taller by an inch. Sometimes favor increases space where no hammer touched. That is how the invisible builds extensions on your home. The road ahead wears clean lines. No detour sign interrupts the view. You keep a steady pace and feel the strength of quiet momentum. You expected a thunderclap but received a bell tone. The bell is truer because it carries far without injury. Its pulse travels street to street and finds its way into kind ears. In the mirror, your eyes look like doors that just learned a new hinge. They swing open without creaking. They reflect a horizon that feels both near and wide. Archangel Michael says, the ledger of your effort balances with a smile today. Credits you forgot are applied with accuracy. Debits you feared are forgiven by time and proof. A message inside the message carries a gentle instruction. Keep what fits, release what wears the shape of yesterday. Hold the new with open fingers so it can breathe. You are not building from rubble, you are building from foundation. The difference is everything because the base is already sound. Your steps add floors without a tremor. Write to comment if your chest feels like soft thunder rolling safely. That is the body recognizing alignment. The feeling will become your new normal. The surprise arrives in a form that works in the real world. It signs its own papers and clears its own path. It does not require you to shrink in order to receive it. You do not need anyone to translate what Tuesday says. It speaks in the plain dialect of relief. It announces that the season of proving has closed and the season of practicing the answer has begun. The envelope that waited now opens like a sunrise folded into paper. There is no trap, only clarity. You read and your breath agrees. Someone whose voice once trembled will speak with steadiness at last. Their steadiness helps your own without taking credit. Cooperation replaces confusion, and the work moves. Write to comment when your feet feel heavier in the good way. Grounded weight means you are not floating in anxiety anymore. It means the floor belongs to you. Your calendar will show room where no room existed. The margins become schedules that make sense. The tasks line up like gentle waves that keep a rhythm you can trust. You will enter a room that used to swallow you and discover it now fits. The corners are bright and the windows open easily. The handle turns without resistance because resistance has retired. A previous no becomes a measured yes. The change is not a whim, it is the result of your standing. You stood long enough for truth to catch up. Write to comment if the air tastes cleaner when you speak your name. That is sovereignty returning to your voice. Keep it with the humility that understands its source. The message under the message says that joy can be quiet. It does not always need ceremony to be real. Sometimes it just sits beside you and holds your hand through the afternoon. The numbers you needed will align in a column you do not have to chase. They arrive with tidy decimals and respectful timing. They obey your plan instead of dragging you out of it. A person who doubted you will surprise you with fairness. Their fairness is not flattery, it is acknowledgement of facts. You can receive it without keeping a ledger of old harm. Write to comment when the room feels like a beginning and not a test. Your nervous system will learn the shape of safety again. It will find that safety has a sound and a temperature and a pace. The door you open today will not close on your heel. It will stay wide as long as you walk honestly. You will not have to sprint to keep it from slamming. Your body remembers the long nights but chooses not to rehearse them. It stores the lesson and empties the fear. That storage becomes knowledge that does not sting. Archangel Michael says, "The horizon bends toward you with approval. The wind has your name in its mouth and it speaks it kindly. You are seen accurately and treated accordingly." The surprise contains certainty where you used to store doubt. That certainty is gentle yet unshakable. It helps you plan with generosity rather than panic. Write to comment if the light falls differently across your table. Even the ordinary wants to celebrate with you. It does so by becoming more itself in your presence. A calendar line marked Tuesday gains an underline you can feel. That underline will remain when the page turns. It will remind you that days can be appointed in your favor. You will find the rhythm that lets you finish what you start. Completion becomes a habit that greets you each morning. Your list shortens without stealing your rest. The new arrives like someone who knows the house. It does not knock dishes from shelves or wake the baby. It takes its seat and makes room for others. Write to comment when the quiet looks bright instead of empty. That is hope choosing a chair at your table. Let it sit and pass the bread of patience and courage. A conversation will end in agreement that honors everyone present. No tricks, no sharp edges, no hidden exits. The terms feel like a handshake you can remember without flinching. You will notice your own voice sounding like a clear bell. That clarity will carry through decisions like light through water. Others will hear it and match the tone. Nothing you earn slips away. It is welded to your timeline with care. You stand on it and it holds. Write to comment when your steps feel as if the floor itself is walking with you. That is alignment doing its quiet work. Keep moving at your right speed. Remember that surprises can be sustainable. This one is built for staying, not for spectacle. It does not burn out because it does not burn you. The evening of Tuesday will close like a book you finished with satisfaction. Your eyelids will lower and your chest will hum with quiet reward. You will sleep without bargaining with tomorrow. By the time the moon takes her post, your story will have gained new pages. They will be crisp and uncreased because you turned them without fear. You will rest knowing that the spine of your book is stronger now. Write to comment when the stars feel closer by half an inch. That is your measure of belonging returning to you. Hold it with care and let it inform your next steady step. The sealed envelope of your life has become an open map. Each line on it is a route that honors your health and your dignity. You follow it with devotion to the ordinary miracles that sustain you. Tuesday bows and steps aside, leaving the doorway clean. What came to meet you stays, what never served you has drifted. You are centered in a room that finally fits the length of your name.